All right, what is up, gentlemen? I'm going to say that because I'm assuming that like 97% of my demographic is going to probably be men, but we'll see what ends up happening with this YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining. This channel, like I said, it's a newer channel. If you guys haven't followed my other stock market channels, Traders Helping Traders has 40,000 subs. DeCarlo Capital has about 10,000 subs. But this is really just for me to focus on a passion project for myself, but also to just help you guys not only with personal development, not only with potentially building your own businesses, making more money, investing in your future, but just being better men across the board. That is one thing that I really want to focus on because so many people and so many times in my life and in my journey, I thought that in order to make more money, I had to have XYZ skills, but in reality, I just had to be a better man. And so it's a lot of what this channel is going to be about. And what I want to talk about today specifically is a six-figure income. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, a lot of people, their goal in life is six-figure income. That's kind of what we as a society are saying is good money if you make six-figure income. Now, first thing I want to state off by saying is that six figures is not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money at all. It's not even a lot of money if you are a single guy. Honestly, it's really not. I feel that I always thought it was until I hit six figures and I was like, okay, never mind. This is not a lot of money. Really, I think that if you're somebody who, to me, making a lot of money is like $250,000 a year plus. And I don't want that to sound egotistical. I don't want that to sound conceited. If I heard myself say that 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'd be like, dude, you're a douche. But to be quite honest, six figures a year really is not that much, especially if you're a single guy, or especially, like I said, too, if you have kids or something, it's really not that much. But that's what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the four main ways that you can pretty easily make six figures per year. I've thought to myself, and I think that these videos, I don't want to make them super professional. I don't want to have like super PowerPoints and a ton of editing. I want these videos to kind of just be like you guys being able to sit down and hang out with me, talk to me, ask me questions. Like, this is our time to chill, and that's kind of what I want this channel to be like. So let me actually minimize myself and let's go over my screen. This is my stock market screen, but let's go over my screen and talk about really the four main ways to make six figures per year. Now, I have a friend who actually was asking me this. He's 24 years old, asking how he can make six figures per year. But I feel that this pertains to a lot of other people as well, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. I thought making six figures a year was insane at one point. But that's the biggest thing I want you guys to realize. Like, once you hit six figures, you'll be like, okay, now how do I make seven figures, or, you know, maybe 500,000, 600,000, all of that. And we're going to talk about that in further videos, but let's just start with six figures. So you all, got to get somewhere. I'm going to give you four main ways that you can do this. It's not going to be step by step, but we're going to just go over how to do it, what basically are the roles in different positions and different jobs and businesses and stuff that you can start. And we're going to briefly kind of go through those. So the first is through sales. So selling specifically high-end products. And we're going to talk about that a bit, but selling high-end products is one of the easiest ways. Sales can be gimmicky. Sales, if you're a car salesman, like I put this here, I've never been a car salesman or know any car salesmen, but it's really, really gimmicky. But high commission sales, like selling boats, selling houses, selling high-end luxury cars, basically selling anything luxury where there's a commission, it is pretty easy to make six figures per year. So let's say that you get a 3% commission and you're selling $1.75 million houses in a very expensive affluent area, in, even if it's 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes away. I have friends who are real estate agents, and I tell them, like, dude, if you're looking to become an agent, like I told my brother, it doesn't take any more skill to sell a $200,000 house than it does a $2 million house, right? Most of the time, people who are going to spend $2-3 million on a house are not as sticklers as somebody who's going to spend $200,000 on a house. Because if you're buying a $200,000 house, you probably only make $20,000, $30,000, maybe $40,000 per year, and you're going to be a lot tighter with your money than somebody who maybe makes $300,000, $400,000 per year, and they're buying a $2 to $7 million property. I always thought that was bullshit back in the day when people would say that, but it really is true. Like, people who make more money, it's just easier to sell them stuff because their conviction is significantly higher and their disposable income is higher. But let's just say that you were to sell a property, $1.7 million, 3% is your commission. You would make $52,000 on one house, which means all you would have to do is sell 2 houses per year. Now, if you sold $300 or $750,000 property, 3% on that would be $22,000, and that would be 5 houses per year. And then obviously 3% on like half of that 750, so like a $370,000 house, which I feel like is probably average in this country right now. You would need to sell probably 10 houses per year, which I know people who sell 10, I know people who sell 20, I know people when they get started they only sell 1 house per year. But what I would say personally with the real estate route, if you want to do that, just go get your license. Ask to work as an assistant for somebody. Like the most expensive area in your, even if you got to drive an hour, like I said, the most expensive and highest end real estate, realtor in your area, go ask if you can be assistant for free, right? Or even $12, $14 an hour. Over time, you will learn the game, you will work there, and the higher commission sales, the better. The second one is going to be a C-suite or an executive. So this is if you're a CFO, COO, CEO, executive vice president, whatever your title is, a C-suite in like a Fortune 500 company, or just even a pretty big company, you're easily going to make 6 figures, easily. I mean, really, C-suites make 250,000 to 350, 400,000. And the way to do that is really just climbing the corporate ladder. It's pretty easy nowadays to make 6 figures if you have a college degree and you work in, potentially an investment firm or something along the lines of that. But the issue with this is that, there's a lot of downside to it where you need to go to school for an extended period of time most of the time. You need to bring on debt to be a student. And depending upon what you're doing, it can be soul crushing, right? As an entrepreneur, I'm not somebody who thinks that being an intrapreneur is a bad thing, right? I feel that a lot of people who own their own companies, a lot of people who have, been an entrepreneur forever, and they really hate the whole, go get a job and work in a corporate company because they call it life sucking. I'm not one of those people, right? I think like 95% of people cannot be successful entrepreneurs. I think that being an intrapreneur, which is going and finding a company in an area that you really like, in a sector of the market that you really enjoy to work with, and finding people you like to work for and with, I think that's a really good way for a lot of people to make a lot of money. So C-suite executive or C-suite team, a really good way. Next would just being an entrepreneur. Create a business, start an e-learning company. It's a lot of what we're going to talk about on this channel. Consulting, doing services. One of the things could be like a debt settlement service company. These are things that cost no money or very little money to start. So debt settlement service company. This is an idea that I had that it's just very time intensive, but basically you find somebody who has a $40,000 car. They have a $39,000 loan on it. They can't pay. Bank's going to take the car. They're going to go through bankruptcy. And the car company, let's say it's Toyota, they have a loan through this person. It goes to a collection agency. The collection agency will settle for whatever the hell they can get. Like if there's $39,000 on that loan, they'll take 20 grand, right? They're not expecting to get the money back. They bought that for very, very cheap. They bought the debt very cheap. They're just expecting to even get half, maybe a little less. You can consolidate the debt between both parties and take a commission. So like debt settlement service, a landscaping company, mobile car wash, detailing, whatever it is, starting a business is not easy, but a lot of ways that people make 6 figures per year and make a lot of money in this country and many other countries. It's just not easy. We'll talk about that later on. I do think 95% of entrepreneurs are just not cut out for it because they're not really entrepreneurs. And then a trade. So becoming like a master plumber, a builder, a contractor, a pipe fitter, I don't know, steam fitters are on, it's like a welder, but basically finding a trade and becoming the top tier in that. I think it's like, I don't know if I have the book behind me. It might be in my library downstairs, but the book Millionaire Next Door, he talks about that, like, I think it's something like 65% of all millionaires in the United States are tradespeople. So tradesmen who own their own plumbing company, heating company, HVAC, whatever it is. That is another good way as well. And I feel like I don't want to say demonize, but like we don't talk about how important and how much money you can make as a plumber, or as a steam fitter, or whatever it ends up being. The trades are very, very massive for accumulating wealth and a really good way to make a lot of money. It's just a lot of times it's backbreaking work. Now, the last is a specialist, which could be trades. So like a specialist, like I said, if you own your own company or you're a master plumber or whatever, but a specialist, so like a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, a cardiologist, like whatever these are, these specialists that work in those areas that you're probably gonna need a PhD, you're probably gonna need your doctorate, which once again, you're bringing on a ton of time, could take 8 to 10 years. You're gonna make a lot of money, but you're gonna have a shitload of debt, which is something else to think about. So looking at C-suite, specialist, trades, all of these are the easiest to do, but it takes a long time with high amounts of debt. So when I say easiest, I'm not necessarily saying like it's easy to go to school for 7 or 8 years. Like I'm not diminishing anything that any of you guys have done. I'm not saying that like, it's easy to go to school. I dropped out of college 3 times and I dropped out of high school twice. So it's not that easy for me because I just can't sit in a classroom all day. But when I say easy, I mean that it's easy in the sense that the road is paved out for you clearly, right? If you take these courses, these electives, you do XYZ, you score this amount on your SATs, and you continue to do this for X amount of time, you're going to get a degree, which you're probably going to be able to get a job and an internship. And it's all laid out for you. Now, the issue with that is that you do cap the amount of money that you can make at some point, right? I doubt that there's master plumbers making 20-30 million dollars per year. I doubt that there's C-suite, well, there's probably C-suite executives making that, but you are going to cap the amount of money that you can make, and you are going to have to be in the corporate world if you want to be a C-suite or a specialist or go to school. Like that's just part of it. And the next one is sales and entrepreneurship is the hardest to do because there is no roadmap. There's a ton of bumps along the way. There's no ceiling for income and your quality of life, which is really good, right? If you're a C-suite executive, you're not working 15-20 hours a week, right? If you're a doctor or a lawyer, you're not working 10-15 hours a week. Entrepreneurs and sales teams, they're not going to work 10-12 hours a week, but you do have the ability to have a little bit higher quality of life, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business where you have people in charge of everything to where you can take a step back. Like for me, I work about 20-25 hours a week. I can work more if I want. I can work less, spend more time on these types of things. But I would say it's a lot harder because very little people help you, especially if you're an entrepreneur. The people that do help you are usually going to be scammers. And then on top of that too, you have a lot of competition out there. So at the end of the day, I just kind of wanted to hop on and explain, these are probably your 4 easiest ways. If I forgot any, comment down below. 5 easiest ways, I should say. But the biggest piece I want you to realize is like getting a 6-figure a year income job is not that hard, right? It's really not. A lot of it, like I tell my friends, like, dude, just apply for jobs you think you'll never get. It just, worst comes to worst, you sit down, you have a conversation or a job interview, and it's for a job you'll never be able to get, and you learn something. You learn something from the interview, you learn something from the application process, you learn something through speaking to somebody, and then maybe you get the job and you kind of fugazied your way into it. But you end up learning while you're there, and you can end up making $100,000-$200,000 per year. The biggest thing is just believing in yourself. And on top of that, just taking the risk. It's the most important thing. So hope this video helps, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, tons of videos to come. I want them to be a lot more relaxed like this, right? I don't want to have a script. I don't want to fucking go ahead and like make it super high end as far as like quality. Like for me, I just want it to be like you and me, we're hanging out, we're chilling, sharing some of my experiences, sharing some of my life with you guys. And thanks as always, guys. Peace.